Peace be upon you from the World of Islam channel. The main cause of weak faith is disconnection from the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet. This is the primary reason that repeatedly leads a person toward spiritual destruction. If you are disconnected from the Book of Allah, meaning you do not read it, reflect upon it, memorize it, and strive to implement in your life, then you should not be surprised when your faith weakens. You simply have no connection. The Prophet said, "I leave you with two things. If you hold firmly to them, you will never go astray. The Book of Allah. The Book of Allah is like a rope. One end is with Allah, and the other is in your hand. If you let go of it, you lose your connection with Allah. Therefore, it is extremely important to maintain this connection through the Quran. How do we know Allah except through what He has revealed about Himself in His book? Where else can you truly know Him except through His words? Only through the words of Allah can you grow closer to Him in this life. Even our prayer, which many describe as our connection to Allah, is not valid without the Quran. Can prayer be considered valid if the Book of Allah is not recited within it? Therefore, do not say that prayer alone is sufficient. Without the Quran, there is no prayer. The Book of Allah plays a central, irreplaceable role. If you do not open the Quran at least once a day, morning or evening, and reflect upon what you read, then you have severed your connection with Allah. If you only read in Arabic without understanding, may Allah reward you for every letter. But what benefit will you gain if you do not understand what Allah is commanding you? Reading brings reward. Reflection brings transformation. Both are essential. Another reason faith weakens is remaining too long in environments that do not nourish it. When you distance yourself from gatherings of remembrance, from righteous company, from places that strengthen Iman, you gradually weaken. Sin also weakens faith. When you're in the house of Allah, how often do sinful thoughts come to you? Rarely. But once you return home and immerse yourself in distractions, social media, games, and heedlessness, what happens? Shaitan begins to influence you. The Prophet said, "A person follows the religion of his close friend. So let one of you look at whom he befriends. Either you influence your environment, or your environment influences you." Excessive attachment to worldly matters also weakens faith. This does not mean abandoning work. Work itself can be worship if done with correct intention. But becoming a slave to wealth and status leads to destruction. The Prophet said, "Wretched is the slave of the dinar and dirham." Balance is key. We ask Allah for good in this life and good in the hereafter. Faith wears out in the heart just as clothes wear out. It must be renewed. The Prophet taught us to ask Allah to renew faith in our hearts. Iman increases and decreases. This is part of our belief. Do not punish yourself thinking you are a hypocrite simply because your faith fluctuates. Even the companions experienced this. One companion once feared he had become a hypocrite because his faith felt strongest in the presence of the Prophet, but weaker at home. The Prophet smiled and explained that if their faith remained constantly at its peak, angels would descend and greet them in the streets. Faith naturally rises and falls, but we must prevent it from falling into sin. Iman is like a muscle. If you try to lift too much too fast, you will injure yourself. If you suddenly attempt extreme worship without gradual development, you will burn out. Start small. Be consistent. Increase gradually. Do not try to become a super Muslim overnight. Growth takes discipline and patience. Finally, dear brothers and sisters, if you wish to support our Dawah mission and help us create authentic, high-quality Islamic content, consider becoming a sponsor of the channel. Every contribution supports spreading beneficial knowledge. May Allah multiply your good deeds and bless you in this life and the next. Ameen.